what it has to be. They want you. Go get it. Get that scholarship. Make things happen. Young man, the best, whether he goes to Ole Miss, whether he goes to Penn State, or he come home to the University of South Carolina. I have no regrets from that. But it's from the sound, I didn't do a video breakdown because I couldn't necessarily find his huddle for right now. I think it's going to be pretty good. Let's talk about these scholarships real quick, man. Let's talk about these scholarships. Right? Number crunch is sizing up South Carolina scholarship count, right? Their extra year of eligibility as a result of the pandemic in 2020 has made quite an impact in managing college football rosters. While the number will eventually work out, trying to make sense of what to expect down the road can be that much more challenging, if not impossible, for folks on the outside looking in. But we'll still try to make sense of things. A majority of the super seniors at South Carolina's 23 roster played on the offensive side of the ball. We'll lump Spencer Rattler and Antoine Wells into that category since both of those guys seriously considered jumping into the pros after this past season. Both could play another college season in 24 if they wanted to. The Gamecocks super senior in class 23 includes a transfer tight end, Trey Knox, 4 wide receivers. That's Eddie Lewis, Xavier Leggett, DeCarrion Joyner, and Amarion Brown. And a pair of offensive linemen, Jalen Nichols and Nick G. I'm not going to say that. Along with 7 on offense, there are 1 on defense. Jordan Stachin, who was expected to be done after the 22 season before a knee injury sidelined him at Arkansas. A minimum, the 23 senior class at South Carolina is a 10-man group. The other 78 players believed to be on the Gamecocks scholarship roster have at least 1 season of eligibility remaining. Beyond the upcoming season, around 65 of those 78 players have joined the program since Shane Beamer was named head coach. The total number of scholarship players at South Carolina roster, again, it is an unofficial count, currently stands at 87. That's including the 3 players who were suspended from the team late last week. And it includes everyone who has signed national letters of intent to join the team in the 23 season. Obviously, the 23 squad has needs at a handful of positions, including running back and defensive end. Right? Tough to say that exactly these numbers could mean for the 24 recruiting class. There are only a handful of guys who might be in position to consider an early jump to the NFL draft. The NCAA transfer portal is always there, but there's no telling who could jump in, and we certainly won't speculate on those particular candidates, right? So right now, 87 is a good number. 87 is a good number, to say this least, right? And speaking of these recruiting, let's talk about these unpredictable levels of recruiting with Shane Beamer. It says South Carolina landed commitments from South Carolina landed commitments from a quartet of 4-star prospects in the class 24 in the last 16 days. And that goes along with the big time to get in the class of 23 5-star Nicholas Harbor during last week's signing day. And there is no reason to believe the Gamecocks will slow down on their recruiting trail because Shane Beamer and his staff are recruiting at a level new to the program. A high point come when South Carolina beat Oregon to sign Harbor, an elite sprinter, but they revamped of the program was well on its way long before Harbor signed on. In the recruiting industry, which coincided with the change of the century, the Gamecocks have not recruited like they are now. The 12, 4, and 5-star prospects South Carolina signed in the class 23 are the most in ranking era, and South Carolina is on a massive run to begin in the 24 class, which sits 5th nationally early in the cycle. That's good. It speaks with prospects, coaches, trainer, family members, and recruits. The commonalities are the belief in Beamer to lead the program, the family feel inside of programs with coaches and players, and the ability to play in the SEC in the darkness in which South Carolina recruits. The Gamecocks, right? I'm not going to read all these people. The Gamecocks are also identifying talent early and getting the prospects and their families on campus multiple times. And once the target is identified, the ability to mix intensity without pressure is being highlighted by those involved, right? So, listen, listen. So I'm just gonna highlight a lot of these guys. We got the state's top player. Um, you know, no. The state's top player signed with Georgia. The number 2 through 5 Robux Dormans, Marquis Anderson, Xavier McLeod, and Lenore Sellers and Sumter's Marquise Rhymes. They signed with the Gamecocks, right? So the number 1 player, Kim Pringle from Dutch Trust of South Carolina, and the number 3 player in Greenville, South Carolina receiver, Mazio Bennett. So we're running the state. So what does all this mean, man? Because I know it's a whole bunch of mumbo jumbo, and I don't know why. What's going on right there, people? I know I spoke about a whole mumbo jumbo, but basically what it is that we're winning the state, and we're going after guys who fit the South Carolina way. Point blank, period. I give us to about 2025, and I think that we will be in a national playoff contention. Once they go to 12, look for South Carolina to be one of those teams in that 12 the first time around. I am predicting it right now. This is February the 7th of 2023. In 2 years, I will replay this tape and tell y'all exactly what I said. I predicted the Tennessee game that we won. And I'm also predicting us to defeat Georgia. I don't know how likely it is, but I'm predicting it, man. So, man, beautiful stuff, man. Beautiful stuff that Shane Beamer's doing. Let's talk about this last little thing, man, right? G.G. Jackson. First, let's go to South Carolina. Tonight, they got a game against Missouri. So if you're watching this tomorrow, you should already know if we're going to win or lose. We're probably going to lose this game. But if you look at the scores from the game, man, like we lost 65-63 against Arkansas the other night. We lost to 66-51 against Mississippi State. We lost to 81-78 in overtime to Georgia. We lost by 21 points to Florida, 81-60. Auburn put the smackdown on us, 81-66. Our last win came against Kentucky, 71-68. I think we shot over 50% from the 3-point line. So this is what G.G. Jackson had to say, right? So G.G. Jackson expressed frustration on social media Saturday after South Carolina's 65-63 home loss to Arkansas. The much-hyped ATO freshman star had a quiet game by his standards against the Razorbacks, scoring 9 points, 3 for 8 shooting, as the Gamecocks 8 for 15, 1 for 9, and the SEC dropped their 7th straight game. After the game, Jackson broadcast himself live on Instagram from the Gamecocks locker room and said the ball should have been in his hands more, especially in the game's final seconds. A replay of Jackson's video made the rounds afterwards on Twitter. Why didn't I get the ball in my hands when it was in crunch time? Jackson said to more than 120 viewers. And I'm supposed to be, quote, unquote, oh my God, Gigi, I didn't see myself as that, but ain't I supposed to be that? Just give me the bleeping ball. I'm not even getting plays drawn up for me in crunch time. Down by 2 points, South Carolina had a chance for a last-ditch play with 2.2 seconds left on the clock, but the ball found its way to center's Josh Gray hands, who heaved a desperation 3-point well out of his shot range that clanked off the backboard, right? So Jackson, a Columbia native and star at Ridgeview High School, has been in the college basketball spotlight for quite some time. After initially committed to play for North Carolina as the number 1 player in the 24 recruiting class, Jackson decommitted, reclassified in the 23 class, and committed to Paris and the Gamecocks. At the time, it was viewed as a systematic win for Paris and USC on the recruiting trail, and for the most part, Jackson has lived up to his future NBA promise, leading the Gamecocks in scoring 16 points per game and rebounding 6.6 game